Good evening. Tonight, Herd Winter Racing taking on Triple Twist. See the profile on the bottom there, taking on Jarvis KOM Reverse and the Zwift KOM Reverse. On a fast course, we had a pretty decent field tonight. Ready to get a good workout on a Saturday night, so speeding it up just to save you the time of watching this in its entirety. Fast start as usual, but this one was even faster. You can tell some guys just pounded it off the front there, trying to create a split right out the gate. I managed to make the selection, and we were already down to something like 20-40 coming up this little climb here out of the pens and going into the volcano. So the race, if you're not familiar with Herd Winter Racing, is a series of races over the course of the winter. There's 7 time slots, I think, and each team's 5 best results count towards the team results. And I think there's an overall GC. It is a all categories race. So there are some A pluses, some A's, some B's, some C's, and I really enjoy these races because I can push hard. So interesting tonight, some sleuthing happening. You can see me on my phone there talking to some teammates and some friends. A couple guys in the race who weren't on Zwift Power. So the series results only count if you're registered on Zwift Power. And one guy there, his name is Proco. Turns out he was on a wheel-on trainer, I believe, or something that wasn't direct drive, is not registered on Zwift Power. And so we were discussing kind of how to adjust our tactics. So you can see it happens quite a bit. He goes off the front, spreads the group out a little bit, and then we all kind of climb back. He spreads the front, we all bridge, and we get back together. So that thinned out the group quite a bit. A really strong showing from Dirt tonight. We had, I think, 4 or 5 in the field, and this is the first KOM, the Jarvis KOM Reverse. Our group went from 19 down a little bit less here. I felt like this was a pretty tough KOM, but not something that I was feeling like I was going to get pushed out the back. I used my feather right at the end, and I think we managed to shed a couple guys right here. Our group down to 10, but we, I think, kind of messed around, and some of these guys ended up coming back. But you can see my heart rate's up at 180 there, just pretty high, feeling pretty tired, but there's a downhill, so I managed to get a break here and rest. Decided to push a little bit, see if we can pop a few guys off the back with a teammate, Jeff, and kind of play around on the front, but nobody really bit. We didn't really go too hard. I couldn't keep track of the power-ups and when they were coming and when to use them because I'm not familiar with arches on the Jarvis expansion. So I ended up kind of burning them quite a bit. Like right now I'm using my draft boost. I could have probably used it earlier after the KOM on the downhill or get some better recovery, right? And here I am. This is a bit of a move here, trying to just chase it down. Some really strong riders, as I mentioned, and decided to push it up here to see if we can shed a couple guys who had just managed to bridge. And the worst thing that happens is you bridge, and then the guys in the group in front of you just drop the hammer. And that's kind of what happened. We're back down to 8 or 9 here, going into the volcano. And 2 guys managed to kind of stick around and, make it more interesting for us. But you can see they're messaging each other. They're just hanging on. And our friend Proco decides to take off again at something like, 350 or 400 watts or something silly. The rest of us this time just decided, you know what, let's leave him. One dirt guy, Mike, jumped up with him and spread the field a little bit. This was a good move. I really thought this was going to stick, but you can see the guy in the blue jersey just came through and gave us just enough draft to catch back up. So I find myself on the front. I'll give it a couple pedal strokes, all while I'm texting with this Proco guy, letting him know that he can do his thing, but we're basically racing different races here because we're in a series and trying to stack points for the team. And he's, like he says, he was here for the exhaustion and the exhilaration. His words, not mine. So about halfway through the race, there's a few attacks that go every now and again, and this happens quite a bit in herd racing. There's an attack, the sort of pack thins out, you work your tail off to get back. I bridged quite well here, thankfully was able to make it up. Ended up on the front and gave it a couple hard pedal strokes, and then I realized that the reverse KOM was coming up and my heart rate was at 175, which is less than ideal. And so I thought I would sit back and get myself some recovery. Meantime, Keo, I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce the name, decided to jump up a Proco, and he quickly put up a huge lead. So he's on 8 seconds on us already, and we haven't even hit the climb yet. I remember him from a couple weeks ago. I think he took off on us on another herd race in Scotland. I remember he had big watts, and that was kind of the move of the night for him. And Fréchette here takes off as well, another super strong rider out of Quebec, rides for Optimum, and they're all really strong riders. I knew when I saw him go, he would likely bridge, and we were racing for the crumbs. Those two guys were in another league, and as you can see there, my heart rate's at 180. I'm holding on for dear life, trying to make something happen, trying to get the dirt guys to come TTT with me and maybe create separation with the others, but didn't work. The rest of the group bridged up to us, and this was a pretty hot KOM. I was feeling it, and you see there I think I did 422 in a TTT, and we came through in 350. Which was pretty quick, and I'm not sure what my overall PR is for that, but it's got to be close to my PR. There's a downhill on the forward KOM. We've got 5 kilometers to go, so it's kind of go time. But like I said, we're racing for crumbs, and the other two guys are 15, 16 seconds up. And, this Proco guy, as much as, it's like, let him do what he does, he did really affect the race. You can see here how he takes off. We all jump on his wheel, and we're all going much harder than I think we otherwise would have. And it kind of kept everyone, let's say, in check to not really take off and try to do a break on our own, because we knew that Proco would be able to spin up and bridge himself, and that would just bring the rest of the guys over. So same thing happens here. Proco kind of takes off, thins the pack out, some nonsense with the steering, which is always fun. And heading into the pointy end of the race here with 3 kilometers to go around the volcano one more time before we make the left turn onto Jarvis Island. And we're all feeling okay here. I think it looks like not too hard. I'm kind of sitting sub threshold before I hit that little hill there, and knew I was going to get a power up. Decided to roll my luck and got stuck with a feather. Feather for a sprint, less than ideal. I should have just hung on to my truck, but it is what it is. I wish I had my truck or had an arrow. Feather for me in a sprint is not my favorite, and I don't know if it kind of messed with me or not, but going in, I had a feeling it was going to make a big difference, so slow it down to 1 time speed. Coming into the sprint, 400 meters left, I've been going early lately and getting antsy, so I tried to hold on as long as I could. I think I still went a little early because I ended up on the front. I think if I had started just a couple seconds later, I would have likely been able to hold this guy off. But he gets me right at the end, and I have to settle for a 4th place, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm pretty happy with that result. You can see here, Chris Keogh, 4.9 for 20. That's huge. Carl Fréchette, 340 watts for the entire race. That's bananas. That's bananas watts. He's heavier. He's 81 kilos, but still, that's the kind of stuff that you're coming up against in these kinds of races. I'm happy with my 4.2 for 20 and overall 4.0. I feel like my fitness is coming back, and the sprint's coming back. These numbers haven't been updated with the final Zwift power, and you can tell because the lightning bolt in the average speed there is green instead of blue. So I think that's the live data, and once the fit file is processed, it turns into a blue lightning bolt. So the sprints normally don't get captured. The final sprints don't get captured. So my 12.5 for 15 actually is a lot more than that. I think it turned out to be something like 14. Not exactly sure. Here, let me check. It happened to be for 15 seconds. Yeah, 14.4. So that'll get updated at some point, and I'm pretty happy with that. I was aiming to break 1,000 for 15 for a while now, and I finally did it. And good workout on a Saturday night. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.